Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Shade 45.
Wake your punk ass up. That crust out you.
Sway in the morning, Shade 45. It's here, ladies and gentlemen. It's time. And what a great time it is. What a great time to be alive.
Yes.
Yes, you recognize that voice right now, man. I feel like I've been on tour with this young man. We've seen each other so much in the past couple of months, man. I'm starting to think if you think I'm stalking him or not.
Nah, man, I'm stalking you. I'm in the right place when you there. I'm in the right place.
Yo, that's how I be feeling too. Like, well, comment on the bill. Oh, shit, I made the right choice.
Right.
That's how I feel, Sway.
Yeah, comments here, ladies and gentlemen. Academy Award winner, comments here. Grammy winner, comments here.
Wow, don't those sound good?
The list goes on and on. You can't even say that without the enthusiasm. I've said it so many times whenever I say his name, I add the titles to it. And then sometimes I realize I got to keep the energy up.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, we get used to the things we shouldn't get used to.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I mean?
That's real, bro.
Yeah, this ain't common, no pun intended. So I have to keep acknowledging you every time. It's not even the brown nose you, but I was on stage the other day and I was sitting there talking to the audience. I was like, damn, man, I started trying to name all your albums. I got caught up in there, right? And then me and Ninth Wonder was like, yo, man, we started naming it. Universal Minds. Oh, shit. Yeah. B is one of my favorite of all times. And then I was thinking like, yo, man, this dude been walking that walk, holding that torch forever. So comments here, man. Comments here.
That intro was, man, I was like, I wish I recorded that. That was like one of them intros where you like a lifetime intro because you could tell that you was serious about it. You was passionate about it.
Yeah.
And I thank you, brother. Thank you for
Absolutely. Hey, man, look, if we don't talk about it, people trying to erase history.
Right.
People trying to tell us that history isn't important, especially when it comes to our history.
Yeah.
And our history is the blueprint to our future.
Yes.
So we were having this conversation this morning, and I'm glad I have the founder of the American Black Film Festival with me, the one and only Jeff Friday is here.
Yes,
ladies
that's
and
what I'm
gentlemen.
talking about.
Mr. Friday.
History. We talking about
This
keeping
is
our
history.
history.
You did this. You created this movement because Hollywood wouldn't.
Because Hollywoodn't.
Hollywoodn't? Okay, yeah.
Because Hollywoodn't, we did.
You did, right?
That's it.
And and how many years ago was that now?
That was 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
1997.
1997, and this year's the 20th year anniversary of ABFF.
Yes, and you coming.
I'm gonna be there. Yeah. Kelly put out the signal. Said Jeff put out the bat signal. And then the Commons ambassador.
Yeah, come on, man. You got to come through. You there, so you there.
Yeah. What does that mean? You being an ambassador?
I mean, I'm like a host. I'm like basically supporting the whole festival, which I would support anyway. But now I get to be on panels with Jeff, talk about films, and just really be there as a face to support the whole movement.
And it's necessary. We were talking about roots, right, this morning, and some folks. Listen, man, I love our history.
Yeah.
I want to celebrate our history.
Yeah.
I want to know who were those pillars, those important people who weren't famous, who weren't celebrities that help us advance in our history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I watched Roots in the 70s. I was a kid, but I remember how it impacted me when I went back to elementary.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I didn't just look at the slavery part. I looked at the part before they captured the slaves or they were sold off by whatever. And looked at how we lived in villages as kings and queens, and that was I didn't know it, so that was a very important part of the history. You got a birth of a nation, right? That's going to be premiering at the ABFF 20th anniversary.
Yes.
Story of Nat Turner, right? Why is this because there's so much energy around this project? Why is this so important?
What's most important with any history is we can't allow people to co-opt our history. You should have the right to tell your own story and your own history. And that whole Hollywood thing is exactly what this is about.
Yeah.
We have to empower our people. We have to create platforms so we can tell our own history. But we got to finance our own history too.
Yeah.
Because of what I always say, just like the music movement, we got to go down in the basement and make the song. We got to finance. We can't rely on white money or general market money to make us heroes. Hollywood is not going to spend its dime empowering us.
Yes.
So if we don't uplift each other and empower each other, it's not going to happen. And so Alex Haley was a pioneer because he told our history. And because he told it, it was pure and it made sense and it was relevant to you. And as a kid in the 70s, it changed your life.
Me too, to be
And
honest. All of us, the Roots, the Wiz for me was something like the Wiz with
Yeah.
Michael Jackson and Diana Ross, man. Like, I mean, that stuff gave me something to identify and hope for and see black people in a way that was like beautiful, talented, stars. It means a lot. So between film and music, them was the biggest influences. And a little basketball too.
But how much of that do we get now, though? If you really look at it, like
Yeah.
how are our kids being rich and being told our stories? It's just not enough, man. It's just not enough.
We need to hear these stories. And then you had a chance to be in the Wiz, right?
Yeah, I got to be
on what's the NBC?
on the NBC remake with with a lot of talented artists, and Kenny Leon directed. That was an honor for me. But it's like, I feel like the diversity that we have as black filmmakers and black women filmmakers and directors / directors of photography. Like, one of my biggest joys was to be on the set of Selma. It was the first time I was on a movie where it was like a black camera operators. It was black people at the head of the costume, and I'm talking about super talented black people head and makeup. And I just walked around and it felt good. Obviously Ava DuVernay was the director, a black woman. So it was just like, this story was being able to be told in a real creative way with some really talented people, and it was us, like you said, telling our story, and we deserve to be able to tell our story, and our stories are universal. It's not like we're not saying we don't include other people to come watch or to be a part of it, or every film that a black director will do just will only contain black actors. That's not what we're saying, but we're just saying, man, we got to be able to tell the stories the way we know it, and at the quality level, and employ our people too.
And we could choose the narrative. We could create the narrative. Snoop commented about Roots and what he thought. It was interesting. It was multi-layered, his comments.
Yeah.
I want to get your feedback on this, and I'll tell you what mine were.
Yeah.
Here's Snoop.
No disrespect, but I can't watch no motherfucking more black movies where niggas getting dogged out, 12 years a slave, Roots, Underground. I can't watch none of that shit. I'm sick of this shit. How the fuck they gonna put Roots on Memorial Day? They gonna just keep beating that shit in our heads, or how they did us, huh? I mean, I don't understand America. They just want to just keep showing the abuse that we took hundreds and hundreds of years ago. But guess what? We taking the same abuse. Think about that part. When y'all gonna make a motherfucking series about the success that black folks is having? The only success we have is Roots and 12 Years a Slave and shit like that, huh? Fuck y'all, I ain't watching that shit. And I advise you motherfuckers that's real niggas like myself, fuck them television shows. Let's create our own shit based on the day. How we live and how we inspire people today.
Okay, so that was Snoop, and that's my brother. So, and you don't always agree with your brother.
Yeah.
I personally love history, so I like history when it's told correctly.
Yeah.
And the history has never been told correctly, especially ours in this country. And I think it's good for these kids to identify with who came before you. We a lot of folks don't realize how many sacrifices were made, how many lives were lost, what people had to do to support their family, move generations forward. So I didn't agree with that part of it about let's not look at 12 Years a Slave and Roots or those sort of things. Because I like these movies. It's not enough of them made, if you think about it. We could name about 10 of them. But what I do agree with is when he said let's invest, basically what you've been saying, Jeff, let's invest in our own properties, our own stories, tell them the way they should be told. I do agree with that. What do you think about his comments?
Well, I agree with half of it because, like, if your favorite meal is miso cod, and I give you that every day, you're gonna get full with it. I think what the appetites of people, from an audience standpoint, we're just full of slave movies. Yeah. If you look at, even if you go back to the Jeffersons, the Good Times. There's always Chicago, right?
Yeah.
There was always some element. I watched Good Times as a little kid in Newark, New Jersey, right? The real hood, right?
Yeah.
There was always some element of suffering.
Yeah.
And so when white people I'm generalizing a little bit.
Okay.
When white people make shows about our community, it's always an element of suffering because they identify through guilt or generosity, which is kind of the same thing. Guilt and generosity have a connection point.
Yeah.
Right? They identify with us suffering. So when they finance stuff, this is about money, man. When they finance stuff, they're going to finance stuff they can relate to.
Yeah.
You buy, if you like red, you buy red shoes. You finance stuff that you relate to, that resonates with you. And so it's not surprising that most narratives about black people, whether it's in the Cabrini Green projects or Newark, New Jersey, Brick City or 12, it's about slavery.
Yeah.
We have got to finance. I'm not a complainer.
Yeah.
I went to Sundance Festival in 1997 for the first time, saw no black people, but Nia Lorenz, Love Jones, won the audience award.
Yeah.
I came back, I didn't create a picket sign. I started our festival. I said, this is dope. Let's do our own black version. If I could imagine 20 years later, this brother who's a beacon of light in our community would be sitting beside me, allowing us to use him to promote this, I'd say you think I was crazy. There is an opportunity for us to change our community. We just got to take chances, Sway.
Yeah.
Take chances. Don't complain. Snoop doesn't like that. Snoop can make a movie. Yeah. What is he talking about? Do he wants to see a heroes? Go make it.
Well, he wants to see us, and I agree with it. I agree with him. Like, it's many facets to who we are. It's not just a history, and he's saying let's celebrate the victories that we've had, and the opulence that we that we live in now,
Right.
and all the success stories, which I agree with. But I want our history told correctly too. I want to see that shit too. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, obviously, I respect what Snoop is saying, and also understand that, at a certain point, you do feel like, man, okay, I've seen a lot of movies with us as slaves. I've seen a lot of movies with us as depicted in that way. But like you said, that's still part of our story. So if it's told well, and it's another perspective that we haven't seen, and we can appreciate it, and it's something that some of the newer generations need to see, and we need to see too sometimes, But as you said, Sway, and I agree, is like, it's just the diversity of who we are. Also, we want to see other stories, like just a cool love story. You just said Love Jones. We love just to see. One of my favorite movies is like Pulp Fiction. It could be, some Pulp Fiction, or obviously now we got Ryan Coogler directing on Black Panther. That's great to see.
That's incredible. Yeah.
So we want that diversity, or just a plain simple story. Like I like movies like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, we can have a story like that. We have writers like that. Like we were just talking about this director Barry Jenkins, who's what's the movie he made, Melissa? Medicine for Melancholy. His brother, he's super dope, and he's like in that family of making those progressive types of films. We have, man, I get approached by different people, who have great ideas. It's about, like you said, taking that and really making it for ourselves. And I do agree that we have to do it. I'm not a complaint either.
Yeah.
I learned that after I used to love, I was like, look, it's not about just complaining. It's about what are you going to do?
That Just Right was a great movie too. Man.
Thank you, bro.
I thought that was a good movie. I don't know why you didn't name your own movies in that. And, could have named your own movies. That was Flavor Unit. Latifah.
Yeah, I got a shout out.
Man, Jeff Friday is here. Comments here. ABFF. And this is the 20th anniversary of the American Black Film Festival, June 15th in Miami. All right. This is going to be a first look conversation confirmed with Nate Parker, Aja Naomi King, and Gabrielle Union for The Birth of a Nation. And this is going to be big, man. Everybody wants to see this, by the way.
Yes.
Which is why I'm going to be there participating in the festivities. Can the general public still can they get tickets? How can the general public participate?
Yeah, the tickets are available on ABFF.com. We're about 80% sold out. So folks who want to come need to move quick. But Miami's an easy sell. I mean, it's going to be hot.
And what are some of the other films or directors or
we're opening up with Central Intelligence. Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson's got a big movie coming out June 17th. So that's our premiere night. Our first night is that, which is great. Then we got the Nate Parker event. We've been bringing Bishop Jakes. We got Bishop Jakes coming. We're doing a conversation with Bishop Jakes talking about how he transitioned his legacy as a pastor to he's a film and TV producer. And he's the real deal now. So we got a lot of big stuff.
Okay.
Starting with this man on opening night.
Hey, you're not performing or nothing, are you?
I want to. I'm talking to them now. Like, I think
That's easy.
we gotta. I want to perform because I got new music that I'm just like, it's just coming out of me. I'm ready to just release it. So I'm hoping we get that done.
The mic is hot, so we'll give it a mic.
You got a new music.
Yeah, man. I got a new project, man. That I'm like. Yo, Sway, I'm for real.
Ready?
It's like,
hey, man, can we premiere that project on this show, man?
Yeah, I would love to.
You know what
bro.
we can do? We could set up. We got the other studio. We remodeled it. And
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we haven't had an Academy Award winner come in and bless it yet.
Yeah, come on.
That would be
I
beautiful.
could perform
You
that.
could bring the band members. Is
Yes.
what I'm saying. You
Come
know?
on. Yeah, I would
'cause
love that.
Y'all did a great show
thank
this
you.
weekend, and you have about 4 pieces.
Yeah, I have like 2 keyboard players. DJ Dummy,
and the singer.
and the drummer, the
Yeah.
singer Mamuna Youssef. So we be
Okay.
up there. Yeah,
Let's set that up. Let's do
would
that.
be dope. Let's
All right.
do it.
All right, we're gonna do that. And then, did you got all your verses memorized on your new project yet?
I mean, I don't really write them down, but I don't want to say all of them right now. But
Okay.
all of them, I want you to have beats to them too, though.
All right. Well, if you had, what's a beat that you always wanted to rhyme over? I'm just curious. I ain't saying I'm about to ask you to rhyme or nothing. Dog.
Right, just for
I'm
fun
just
fact.
curious. I'm just curious. Like you.
I know it's a setup.
No.
I'm trying, just some hip hop beat, whatever.
Anything like 10 Crack Commandments or something
Yeah.
like that, or no?
Something else like that. Something in that Primo family. I'm with that.
What, Wonder? What are you doing? You playing a beat? Are you playing something, Wonder? You're not expecting Common to spit something from the new project, just a little exclusive 16 bar, are you?
All right. Yeah, check it out.
Wonder, you
I'm
a
gonna get this
fool,
for the
man.
people since we doing something for the American Black Film Festival. We gonna do it right. Check it out.
He's locked in.
Yeah, check it. Hot damn Black America again. Think of Sandra Bland as I'm staring in the wind. The color of my skin, they comparing it to sin. The darker it gets, the less fairer it has been. The hate made, I inherited from them. But I ain't gon' point the finger. We got anointed singers like Nina, Marvin, Billy, Stevie. Need to hear them songs sometimes to believe me. Who freed me? Lincoln a Cadillac, drinking a battle raps. Or is it Godspeed that we travel at? Endangered in our own habitats. Them guns and dope, man. Y'all can have it back. As a matter of fact, we them lab rats you built the projects for, now you want your hood back. I guess if you could rap, you would express it too. That PTSD, we need professionals. You know what pressure do, it makes the pipes bust. From schools to prison, y'all, they tryna pipe us. To your political parties invite us, instead of making voting laws to spite us. You know, we from a family of fighters, fought in your wars and our wars. You put a nigga in Star Wars, maybe you need to. And then maybe then we'll believe you. See black people in the future. We wasn't shipped here to rob and shoot ya. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women are created equal, including Black Americans. Yeah, that's Black America again. I'm gonna do another verse for me. Check it out. Up on the same thing. Check it out. Keep that beat roll. Yo. We go, here we go, here we go again. Trayvon will never get to be an older man. Black children, they childhood stole from them. Robbed of our names and our language, stole again. Who stole the soul from black folk? Same man that stole the land from cheap black smoke and made the whip crackle on our back slow. Made us go through the back door and raffle black bodies on the slave blocks. Now we slave to the blocks, cause on them we spray shots. Leaving our own to lay in a box. Black mother stomach staying or not. We kill each other more than the cops. I wish the hating would stop. We are at war and a battle with us. I know that black lives matter. Do they matter to us? These are the things we gotta discuss. The new plantation, mass incarceration. Instead of educate, they rather convict the kids. As dirty as the water in Flint the system is. Is it a felony or a misdemeanor? Maria Sharapova making more than Serena. It took Viola Davis to say this. The roles of the help and the gangsters is really all they gave us. We need Avas, Ta-Nehisi's and Cory Bookers. The salt of the earth to get us off of sugar and greasy foods. I don't believe the news or radio stereotypes we refuse. Brainwashed in the psycho to spin. We write our own story, Black America again.
Feel like he had one more verse. He Hey, homie, you are an amazing person, bro. You're amazing, man. You are amazing. I don't know how you. Damn, you never let me down, man. I don't think, Jeff, I'm going to tell you something. I'm actually, like, playing the odds now. Like, for 20 years, I've asked this dude to rap. And he's never told me no.
That's mind blowing.
Sway, man. You Sway. This is where we come from, Sway, man. We come from this, man.
That's our shit.
This is us, man.
Yeah.
This is what we do, man.
Man, you keep me in the light, bro. Because sometimes, you feel, this ain't got nothing to do with just some hip-hop shit, but sometimes you be sitting bewildered, like, what the fuck is going on?
No.
Right? And then I'll be somewhere and I'll see you. That's why I be looking at you like, oh shit. All right, cool.
We here. We here. We know what it is, and man, at the same token, man, sometimes like you said, sometimes you fade out of just the energy of the culture, but then it's like you get reminded of how beautiful this culture is, man.
Beautiful.
And it's like, and it's dope. It's some dope young dudes out there doing it, and then it's still some of the artists from 90s doing it, and it's like, man, the culture is so dope, man.
It's flourishing right now. And I think that's why I think I might be a little overprotective sometimes because I be wanting to tell these young dudes, listen, don't fuck it up for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't knock yourself out the game.
Yeah.
Don't coach, I want to leave. I want to come out the game. Don't do that.
Nah.
Because you're going to see how this is going to benefit you for a lifetime. And how what you do because of it is going to benefit others.
Yeah, man.
And that's the real give back.
That's the real give back.
Yeah.
And this, man, like I told you, I saw you in the documentary, and I was just stretching Bobito thing, and I was thinking how much, like from you all were doing that on the West Coast, this. Think of how much that has influenced, like how much influence you had on so many people's lives. That's why the other day when I was on stage, I was like, man, you are somebody who has moved the culture in every generation, and we gotta appreciate that. Like hip hop is so broad. Like we think about how much it affects the world and it's still continuing to affect my life. But man, it shaped the way I was thinking, man. Like the way I think was influenced by KRS-One, NWA, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, Nas.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. Like, and it's still like I'm getting inspired. I get inspired when I hear Kendrick or Chance or Vic Mensa, some of them dudes just like they going
hard too.
Yeah.
Chance is ridiculous.
Chance is the truth.
They all are, and I think the same is true in the world of film, right? It's the same thing. These films influence who we are, how we think, and influence our lives, especially the narrative. That's why ABFF is so important, because you're offering the world just different layers of how we think from our eyes, from our perspective, how we, right? How we take in things, right? So
and Ryan Coogler is Kendrick.
Ryan Coogler is Kendrick. That's what I was going to say that. Ryan is Kendrick, right? Ryan Coogler is Kendrick. Of course he's from Oakland, Of course he's from Oakland. Home of the Golden State Warriors.
I asked Sway before I was going on stage. I asked you before I was going on stage, I said, yo, y'all gonna win this joint? And you was like, yeah, we got this. You
I said?
Yeah, you said y'all got it. I was surprised, because I ain't gonna lie. I was going for Golden State, but then I was like, man, OKC is tough, bro.
They were tough.
It's tough. They deserve some respect. Them boys is playing.
OKC, honestly, if I gotta say we going for it, and what I told you too is, hey, they messed up. They let us win.
Yeah.
They let us back in.
Yeah, they did.
They messed up. So
the
7th game in Oakland, it was no way that was going.
Yeah,
they messed
but
up.
That was some good basketball.
No, that was beautiful basketball. So congratulations to OKC.
I'm sorry to get off the film festival. We got the.
Jeff, thank you for the work you've been doing, man, and thank you for letting us be a part of it too, as well. You come on the show before, and we talked about the film festival, and I want to encourage everybody. You don't have to be black to go to the ABFF.
Good point.
Right? You don't have to be black to go to the ABFF.
We're just celebrating black culture.
You're celebrating the culture, right? And we all feast off of it. So why not?
Yeah, man. That's one of the biggest things I always be like, man, because we celebrate being black and we love black people doesn't mean we like feel like negative towards any other nationality. It's just okay to celebrate who you are. And the fact that Jeff has been doing this for 20 years, man, and every person he's given the opportunity, all type of people behind the scenes and in front of the cameras. It's an amazing thing. So I'm glad y'all showing up. I'm super glad. I'm honored, Jeff, for real, to be a part of this, bro. You said you was like 20 years, would you have thought that I would be there? Shoot, 20 years would I have thought I was just a rhyming nigga for you know, come on.
20 years ago, it was like, am I gonna get another album?
Yeah, exactly, bro. Let's be real. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, gentlemen, thank you for coming by today.
thank
All
you,
right,
thank you.
We'll see you, Miami.
Absolutely, man. Are we wrapping it? Okay. Well, Tracy got some really interesting audio from this past weekend. I guess we could play it back tomorrow morning.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. Because we got a chance at the Soundset to interview a lot of different artists, and we'll be posting some things on Sway's Universe today. Make sure you follow, become a subscriber. I know Jeff Friday is going to become a subscriber. He's going to go on Sway's Universe and subscribe.
I'm a subscriber.
Okay, yeah. Common. I'm just gonna say Common already is. That way he could go ahead.
He is citizen.
Behind closed doors and subscribe.
He HB's mental husband.
I am a citizen. What am I thinking?
Yeah, you are a citizen, man. Heather B couldn't be here today. I know she's pissed. But to
my
go
people.
to stay, yeah, that's your folks. Yeah, she said you're her mental husband.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
well, we there then. I'm with it. Holy matrimony, holy mental matrimony.
All right, we will thank Oxymorons for coming by.
Yeah.
Riff Raff for coming by as well. Tomorrow we got a great show for you guys.
It's Sway in the morning, only
On Shea 45.